December 18th, 2022. A bunch of fresh snow on the ground. Got the Bronco out here today, out on the snow-covered adventure course. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, flying solo. Mr. Piper behind the wheel. Let's see how she goes. Going up to the podium. Hopefully we can still clear. Yep, plenty of clearance under there. Going for the straightforward approach on the adventure course today. Going straight on in. Up and over the first hill. Heading into our first rocky section here. Never be able to tell with all the snow on the ground. We're just going to mix and match and pick our own course on the course today. Custom route on the adventure course. Keeling over to the left hand side there a little bit, as we're cutting hard to the right around a rock currently. My thought was to cut back to the right and go up this rocky path right here, but maybe we'll avoid that. Just go straight down underneath the over-under rock bridge, or brick bridge, whatever bridge that is down there. We'll come back up this here in a minute. Try our luck on the way back up. Alright, which way do we go? Up the rocky switchback. I'm not going to be able to get up the Teeter-totter. It's probably frozen to the ground. So we could take this rocky switchback in front of us. Or we could take this rock path right here that I'm standing on. Rock path might be a little bit more interesting, since it's a little bit steeper. We'll go that route. Heading into the first big boulder. Up and over into the next one. The track span. Little chatter. That's a pretty steep rock face I'm trying to climb up on the passenger side. Crawling method, we're getting pretty close to coming off the edge of the course here on the driver's side. The track rub on the edge of the body. I do have the rear limiters removed from those rear track units. We did find some traction there on that rock face. Having those rear track limiters removed allows those rear tracks to pivot a little bit further in the clockwise position, or to the right I should say, as we're looking at the truck. Get them tilt backwards a little bit further. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing is yet to be decided, but yeah, there we go on that. Alright, we made it up the hill, and we're about to work our way over the back edge. We did have an ice storm on Thursday. We were supposed to get 6 inches of snow on Thursday, at least 6 inches they said. I think we were sold a bill of goods on that one. We ended up getting about 1.5 inches to 2 inches of solid slush. Big huge flakes. Started out with big huge flakes, and then just went into nothing but slush. But then Friday it started lightly snowing, and then Saturday it was lightly snowing, and Sunday it's still lightly snowing. And this is what we've got accumulated on top of that slush. Or frozen icy buildup. So we do have a nice little base layer down below everything. Nice little coating. Making our way down that hill there, looking at our slide marks from the tracks on the left and right there. Try to make this hard right turn going up the next side. This is a very tight corner. A couple different angles that we're hitting it at that we're coming down off the other hill and trying to immediately go back up another one. First run with the Bronco and Traxxas on it for 2022. This is nothing but rocks going up this face of the hill. Scale boulders to these vehicles. We made it. A little bit of struggle climbing up that rock face, but we made it. Aha, what direction are we going now? Up over the pretty uneventful over-under log bridge, or through this next lower rocky section. Probably be a piece of cake going through this next lower rocky section. Let's try that over-under bridge and see how the rubber tracks handle the bridge. As long as we don't break through that icy frozen coating that was on everything from Thursday, we should be okay. Maybe. Just fell off the edge over here. Oh, that is not good. That is unrecoverable, pretty much. We are in a bad spot. Try backing up. Not much breakover angle on the back of those tracks, so kind of precarious backing over something like this. Track doesn't necessarily want to handle that. There we go. Oh, well, it doesn't look like we're going that way. We are kind of stuck here. See if we can drive out of it. Looks like we're going this way. Our route is being picked for us. Hard part about filming all this stuff is trying not to leave too many footprints on the course. Just to come back out here again with the vehicles. Don't necessarily want to have a bunch of footprints on camera. Nobody likes to see that. Big rock right up there in front of the vehicle. And we're up and over it. Whether we can make it around this corner is another story. It's a pretty steep drop on that other side. We are leaning downhill. We're coming back around towards that log bridge again. Different side, different angle. See if we can make it up this side. Get a little throttle persuasion. Oh, little track rub. Track skip on the back, driver's side. Now this is one of those spots where we have the rear breakover angle issue right there. Cannot back out of that. That's one of those situations where you'll end up breaking an axle trying to back out of it. See if we can claw our way forward here. Maybe back out on an angle if we can manage it. Or keep climbing to the top if we can manage it. There we go. On up we went. Now let's see if we can hook it to the right. Another tough feet, pretty tough angle there. Going from one log bridge to another. Work our way around that switchback corner. On up we go. We're going to try to steer a little bit to the right over here because there's a big hole over there on the left hand side. Not necessarily a hole, but there's a dip in the logs, and that might get us snagged up on it. I had trouble climbing out of that dip. Snow falling off the bridge as we go, falling down below, and we're clear. Slight right turn as we make our way onto this ramp going down the other side. Don't catch that right turn, you'll end up driving right off the edge on the left hand side. Now what we can't see is a monster tree root buried right there in front of us. It's about as tall as the bumper. Right where we're heading right now is the steepest point. And we're lucky enough that it has enough snowpack on it that we're able to drive over it. Normally that'll hang you up. Continuing along past the collapsed cabin, which is right up there covered in snow, straight in front of us between those lights. Heading up towards Old Stump. Which is a pretty good little uphill climb. Some stepped dirt hills along the way. This goes into more rock. As we head up in between two tree stumps. Right between two tree stumps. Here's what we're looking like on the back side. Over here to the front side. Truck kind of camouflaged in there in between the leaves and what have you. That's a pretty steep climb going up into the Old Stump. And we're making it. Catching it coming out the other side like a car wash. Going through a car wash. Mental note, tighten up the rear tracks. I should have said that about 5 minutes ago, but definitely need to tighten those up. First run with the vehicles once again this year. We do have a functioning 8274 on the front, RC four-wheel drive Warren winch, which works awesome. One of the best scale looking functioning winches that I've been able to find. Servo winches are very nice. You can get some seriously strong servo winches, but they just don't have that same scale look as that RC four-wheel drive Warren 8274. Not being sponsored, but it is an awesome winch. And we own several of those. One on my TF2, one on this Bronco, one on my brother's Bronco, and one on our TRX6 Mercedes-Benz. Right now we're trying to climb up an inverted tree root, which is pretty darn tall. It's a big tree root. Good 5 inches in height off the ground, or the invert I should say. It's kind of an impossible task really. It can be. Ooh. Leaning pretty good there. As far as the steering servo, I'm running a Savox SW1210 SG. I've had that in here for a few years, quite a few years really. Pretty much since I first got the Bronco. My stock servo didn't last very long, and then I bought that Savox for it. It's been in here ever since. So a few years now. Definitely gotten a lot of life out of it. Ran a few years with it before getting the Traxxas Complete BEC kit. BEC kit definitely helps out with providing more power to that servo. But it's not the strongest servo in the world. Okay on the truck when you're just running with tires, but with the Trax you need something a little bit stronger. My brother just recently had his Savox SW1210. Quit working on him the other day. And I replaced that with a Protek 370 TBL black label. And it is working much better currently. And he would be out here with us today, but he is currently preoccupied. So this truck is all acclimated. It's sitting out in the snow right next to mine. So maybe in a couple hours we'll come back out here with the other Bronco. And do another little adventure of some sort. Heading past the rock stockpile, which is all covered in snow, but we've got a nice stockpile of rocks going on here. Haven't done much building on the course as far as expanding or anything like that, but I have gone out and gathered quite a few rocks. So we'll be off to a good start next spring, that is for sure. Coming out for the covered tree areas and working our way down into the big over-under rock bridge. Don't usually get to see it from this angle too often. Sun is dropping. We might have to turn our lights on here in a few minutes. Big drop down there going out underneath the over-under log bridge. Over under rock bridge and over under log bridge, back to back. And we fell off that over under log bridge in the last video with my K10 Ascender. Bronco hiding down there. Trying to stand off to the side so I'm not putting footprints on my course. Difficult to do. Having dug in sections on an adventure course is another difficult thing for filming. Right now, we're hitting our roof basket, the light bar, on that log. We might not be able to make it through here. Pretty tight fit there. I don't know if we can beat the snow down enough that maybe we can make it through. Working at SW1210 a little bit left and right. It was just enough clearance to skate past. Once again, that Protek 370 TBL can move those tracks from left to right much easier. At 600 inch-ounces of torque on 6 volts. Plenty of power for the tracks. Clawing our way up this hill, heading over towards that wicked little log crossing up ahead. That one is a tough nut to crack up there. Last time we were on this obstacle with that K10 Ascender, we couldn't make it. I actually had to use the hand of God on it to make it up. I don't know if we're going to be able to make it or not with the Bronco today. If we do, it'll be thanks to that frozen rain base coat that we had the other day on Thursday. We're making it straight up and over. No do-overs. Gotta love the background, that snow-covered forest floor, trees and everything else. Rolling into Prometheus. which is kind of snow covered as well. Need a little toot for Prometheus, keep his head warm. And into the next section, past our other collapsed cabin, which is over there in the trees. In between these blue spruces. A set of whoopie-doos and a set of blue spruces at the same time. I'm driving over this one a little bit, using the branches for traction. Another clearance issue as we go through the bottom of the trees and the roof of the vehicle. What's in there somewhere? There she is. And some winch wipers. Dug-in pits, not good for filming. Fun for driving through, but not good for filming. Coming into the storm damage section, big storm damage. And this can be a bad area for tracks, for that rear departure angle. Thankfully everything's snow covered, so once again, hopefully that ice coating that we got the other day and our current little bit of snow that we have will make this passable. Really not even planning or plotting a route through, just driving straight on through. Totally passable, not a problem. Heading down towards the over-under brick bridge or rock bridge. Brick bridge. So many darn bridges. Over-under rock bridge. We wiped out on that log bridge last time, so I think we need a little bit of log bridge redemption. We're going to head over there with Trax. Pretty narrow crossing here. I'm not exactly standing in the best place for this. Great for you guys and gals out there, but not so good for me. I can see that the truck's already leaning to the right. We might just bottom out on the chassis on this one. There's so much snow on the top of the log. The log's relatively narrow. So we might bottom out on the chassis. Moving around to the front of the vehicle, good thing I did. Noticing that passenger side track is way off the edge over there. That was a rollover waiting to happen. Change up our approach. Winch bumper disappearing under the snow. Try and track along slow and easy. Slow and easy. Narrow. Pretty darn narrow right there. So really not much margin for error when you're on top of this bridge. Not much margin at all. Slightest turn left or right and you're going over. You have to be careful coming off of this because we need to make a right turn here as we're exiting the bridge. And then we might, that might cause our back end to slide off the log bridge a little bit over here as we're attempting this turn. But we're doing all right. Let's keep on proceeding forward. Still running the stock suspension on this truck. I did receive a long travel lift kit for Christmas last year. Yes, last year. It's currently December 2022. Man, 12 months later, and I still haven't installed that lift kit. That's because we were working on the new RC studio area and all the other projects and Well, that'll be something that we do once we get the new studio established. Put those lift kits on in the studio. And we have two of them. One for my truck, one for my brother's truck, and we'll probably end up getting one for my niece's truck as well. Might as well lift them all. While we're here, why don't we just circle back around and see if we can make it right back up this rock bridge. Hoping I can squeeze past that tree. Yep. Tight fit over there. Gotta love the tracks on the T-Rex 4s, man. Those are some nice track units. Traxxas did a good job with those. Especially with those deep lug paddle tracks. They really made up for that first go around. That first set of tracks they came out with the shallow lugs. They're okay. They're nice tracks. They're okay for certain things. I mean, they'd be good for summertime usage on the hard surfaces. Or rock and stuff like that, where you don't want to wear and tear on your deep lugs. That's where those original set of tracks would come in handy. But for deep snow, deep sand, these deep lug paddle tracks just can't be beat. They're awesome. Once again, we're doing some custom routing on the course today. We just circled around that rock bridge and went off the course and back down in, down that hill. Going up the next hill, coming out the other side. Doing some digging along the way. We're making it. We're going to venture right off the course, right off the side of this wall. Go into the next little section, which is where we would have been heading to begin with before we went back up around that rock bridge. We would have been coming into this turn. We'll just continue along. Heading down towards the other storm damage area. Smaller section. Not even worth talking about at this point in time. We're into it right now. And we're coming out of it. Right over here. Pretty short section. Still running the stock motor in this vehicle. Been running it since 2019. Since I first bought the truck. That stock Traxxas Titan 550. All kinds of miles. Actual miles. Miles. And hours galore. Still plugging along just great. I'd love to get a new motor for it, but man, this one's still working. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I'd love to get a brushless setup for it at some point in time. Maybe a hobby wing setup. We'll see. As to what KV to go with, that's a different story. I don't know, 2300, 2600, somewhere in that area probably. The KV is the question. You want it to be low, but you don't want it to be too low. Still want to be able to get some good wheel speed going if you need it. Camera locked up. Just happened to catch it. Stop the truck. Waited for it to start rolling again. We will see a little glitch on the film there, but well, what can you do? Relatively new camera phone, but just locks up every once in a while. I don't know what the deal is with it. Normally we'd be heading towards the exit right now, but I think we're just going to pick another route. Sun is fading. We'll turn on some lights real quick. The light switch mounted on my air fender well under there. For our rock lights and basic headlights. We'll leave our light bar off at the moment. Since that little $20 eBay special light bar has a mind of its own most of the time. And does whatever it wants. Usually blinking in a different series of lights. Get what you pay for with a $20 light bar. Looks like I have yellow neons on underneath that thing, but nope, that's just our rock lighting. It doesn't look like that with the naked eye. Just on camera. I think we're going to bypass the course a little bit here and drop right over this little wall and head out this way. If possible. I say a little wall, but it's pretty darn steep. That is a really steep wall. Thankfully, that little bit of snow that we had is giving us some padding and extra clearance, so we're good. Not so steep wall. Heading into the rocky switchbacks, which might be ill-advised with tracks going through the switchbacks. Since we're here, room's already paid for. Let's try the rock ridge. Tight angle here, trying to hook around onto this rock ridge. It hooked it nicely though. Looking that left turn. Said rock bridge again. Brick bridge. Brick bridge. Bricks, you can imagine how slick the surface is. Break over angle issues. Sliding off the bricks. Pretty steep angle. Your tracks are pretty much trying to go straight up. Oh, he's making it. He's making it. Oh, I love these tracks. Teeter-totter, man, dare we try the teeter-totter. Well, once again, we're there. What's that saying about the room? Let's see if we can make it. Let's see if we can do it. Don't think so. Oh, we're falling off the bridge. Back end was dragging as well. I'm not one to give up very easy. We'll try it again. don't think we're going to be able to make it. Odds are stacked against us for this one. 2x4 is covered with a frozen icy coating. Not going to happen. Not going to happen today. Getting down into this stuff here, which is that ice coating on top of the 2x4s. Nope, no traction to be had. But we are at the Rocky Bypass, which is pretty steep in itself. Let's see if we can climb up this baby. I say climb, but we're crawling really. Sometimes there's something to be said for wheel speed. Snow is deeper than our tracks are tall. Rocks are covered in that icy, slushy compound that froze up on Thursday. Showed up and froze up on Thursday. I don't think we're getting any further. Not with the help of the winch. Don't tip over, don't tip over, don't tip over! Zigzag across the course and head back out this way. Making our way to the exit, and I think we're going to make it as hard as we can. And see if we can make it up this rock path straight in front of us. If we're coming into it sideways, climbing up and over the edge of the rock hill or rock path, and climbing onto it from the side, more or less. Not the way it's meant to be entered. Pretty steep hill that we're sitting on. Sometimes you don't notice this stuff in the summertime. It takes that wintertime snow to give you a little bit more depth on the background. Another path, there's just nothing but rock all the way up. Scale boulders for these vehicles. And we're making it without a problem. Didn't necessarily expect to have one there, but regardless, we made it. Did I mention that I love these deep lug paddle tracks? Awesome. Making our way towards the exit, but since we're not doing things too traditional today, we're going to zigzag across the course again. Course manager, you get the privileges of being able to pick your own route. Heading into the first over-under log bridge. Very first original OG. And she's just getting tighter and tighter throughout the years. Like an old mine shaft, the walls are starting to cave in. Oh, we're getting snagged on our light bar on the other side. That bark on the light bar. Well, let's go see what's hanging us up. getting snagged on that light bar back there. I don't think we're going to make it through this one. We're getting snagged up early. Nope, we made it. Little wiggle of the servo. And we made it. Some tree bark on the roof of the truck, or cab of the foot of the truck. Windshield area. Let me get you that. Get that for you there, Rowdy. Oh, there's a light cover sitting right there. It's a good thing I didn't move too far. Get the light cover off. Here we go. Good thing we didn't move too far after that one. Can't exactly buy those light covers separately. Circle my way back around to the front side of this log bridge, and this might be tough. Pretty steep angle, and these are horizontal logs that we're trying to climb. This might be a winch situation. Guess we can kind of climb it diagonally, perhaps. Oh, we are in deep. Can't back up. Dug down too far. Right now I'm just going to have to try to hook it to the left and see if I can spin that front end around. Otherwise, we are stuck. Backtrack is down the dirt on the driver's side. Getting a little bit of track hop back there as well. And we can't back up. We are buried. Well, this would be a winch situation, totally. Yeah, we're just gonna do a hand to God situation on that one. We were dug in pretty good down there. Yeah, a little bit of mud in there. The winch on that one. Really no place to anchor to up here in the frozen tundra. We do have a winch spike attached to the controller. I could have drove a winch spike into the ground. I do have one of these right here that I keep on hand, but not much to drive it into in the frozen tundra surface. So we'll just get another approach and see if we can make it up again. Different angle. Second try. You're digging. Well, they say not to run second gear with the Traxxas. Gearing, motor, blah, blah, blah. Get a good brushless motor in here. Getting that right KV once again to be right. Getting your gearing to be right. But pulling second gear could be beneficial with a set of tracks on it for something like this. Nope, not enough oomph. Not enough oomph. Didn't like that one bit. Seems like our battery is kind of losing some power too, really, here. It's a cold day. That is for sure, but I think a Traxxas 2S 8000 milliamp battery. 25C withdrawal rate. Normally you can run quite a few hours with this battery in the winter weather. But right now it seems like it's losing a little bit of power. Battery is a few years old. Wow, quite a few years old. Had the battery as long as we've had the trucks for the most part. But they're as old as the trucks themselves. It lasted a long time. But just like all things wear out. My 8000 milliamp battery quit working last year. Cells came out of balance and just wouldn't charge back up right. Running my brother's battery currently. But his might be on the way out too. 2 identical batteries. Traxxas Onyx DTXC 1883s. 8,000 milliamp 2S lipos. Soft pack. There we go, we are exiting the course. And that's going to do it on this run. Nice little fun snowy adventure out on the adventure course. December 18th, 2022. That is full throttle. Full throttle right there. Not much oomph out of that there truck. Yeah, that's all she wrote. Well, that is going to do it, boys and girls. Very much appreciated for y'all sticking around and watching the video. Old Rowdy saying goodbye. Y'all have a good one. And if I don't see you before Christmas, Merry Christmas to you all. Thanks again. We'll see you on the next one.